Hello, my name is Andrew Just, the ForecastBuilder Manager, and welcome to the version 10.5 release training for the ForecastBuilder software. So we're going to start off with a little clarification here on what precipitation type grids to edit when you're working with MBM data as the precipitation type approach. So if you recall, when you get into the Analyze Adjust step, you will have the probability of type or POT type grids loaded there in the Grid Manager. So when you want to adjust the timing or the ratio of your desired forecast precipitation types, you will want to modify these probability of type grids at this point. But if you want to just make some finer scale edits or completely remove a precipitation type, then do that in the precip type step and modify the WX grids. In the case of removing freeze and rain entirely, do that here at the WX grid step. Just deselect the WX ZR, and it will backwards modify your probability of type grid, for example. So this is for now with MBM version 4.0. When we go to version 4.1, there should be a great reduction in edits, and we believe that for forecasters, you'll be able to work mostly with the WX type grids at that point, based on the output of version 4.1 that we've seen to this point in time. All right, let's talk a little bit about version 10.5 and some of the highlights. Since there's been a lot of offices now utilizing the MBM as the precipitation type approach, we've incorporated a lot of the feedback received and made some adjustments here. The first of which is to add this new move mode to the copy section of the precipitation type step here, and allows you simply there to move one precip type to another. We've also added a few other tools that have been built into the precip types edit GUI, and we'll present those here in a little bit, including this new constraint to T function. And we've had a lot of rain snow issues, particularly with MBM version 4, and with that, and again the feedback received, we've actually updated the force snow button and that slider and how they work. So previously it was mostly focused on the snow, but now it's also going to do creation of the WXR grids and using that snow wet bulb slider bar value, and it's shown there on how that's done. You will essentially get some overlap based on the wet bulb temperature. Additionally, since this will be the last probably ForecastBuilder release until version 4.1 comes out, we've added code to detect whether the MBM data is 4.0 or 4.1. It's very important because the data changes from that conditional that we see with 4.0 to unconditional with 4.1. Also, if you recall, earlier versions of ForecastBuilder had the default drizzle amount as 500ths. That was recently reset to 0. We brought that back to 500ths to make it pretty consistent again with previous versions. Outside of the precip type step changes, there's been a change here with the pop-up GUIs. Previously, these pop-up GUIs would end up falling behind the main ForecastBuilder GUI and be annoying. They will now appear on the top of the main GUI. If you recall the consistency checking that occurs between the max T, min T, and T in the event that you have a significant departure between the two in that Analyze Adjust step, it was for the bigger changes, across a say like if there were more like say 20 points, for example, where you had greater than 3.5 degrees and you get this orange shade in, that would be restricted to your weather creation area. But now all this whole consistency checking is just your weather creation area. So basically, yeah, if you see this come up, it's something in your area that weather grids get created for. And finally, there's a lot of other under the hood fixes, and those have been detailed in the version 10.5 documentation. Just really this training is focused on what you as a user will be seeing here, or what you should be bigger concerned with. All right, let's talk about that precipitation type step updates here. Again, a few new tools have been added. Again, the move to option is shown there, as well as limit values and an assign button. These can all be used in different forms depending upon this, the circumstance, to make things a little easier here for you to edit precipitation types. Note that there is this constraint to T option, and I'll talk about that here in a second. If you utilize that in conjunction with limit values, you can have some inconsistencies with pop, and then again, there's various tools that can help fix that to correct that inconsistency. So what is this constraint to T option there? It will basically automatically run this fix weather type keep T option to help minimize inconsistencies. So you're essentially again trying to make your weather types and your hourly temperatures more consistent with each other when you hit that constraint to T. Also here, let's talk about that rain snow scenarios. So this snow wet bulb slider bar and the forced snow thing. Again, this is helping to simplify that. So the operation here is just leave only rain and snow checked for a rain snow scenario. Deselect anything with freezing rain or sleet in that init weather types section. And again, check the forced snow box. And then when you run this, both WXR and WXS are created when initializing. And again, here the WXS, or the weather snow areas, will get created there where the pops exist at temps, again, less than or equal to that wet bulb slider bar value. And then the WXR is created where your forecast wet bulb is above that slider bar value, -1 degree Fahrenheit, so that you could get that nice overlap with both rain and snow. And then another additional change there that there's no more automatic fixing of T. So this allows forecaster to forecast snow and force the temperature down if the NVM is too warm. And with that, that's the end of this training. Again, if you have questions, there's a couple different options there, whether you want to go to the NWS chat room, the ForecastBuilder VLab site, or honestly, the easiest way to get in contact with us is to email the nws.forecastbuilder@noaa.gov. Thank you.